Welcome back to the social science class, and today we will start with the geography lesson number 3, drainage. The term drainage is used to describe the river system of an area. When you look at the physical map of India, you will notice that small streams flowing from the different directions, they come together to form the main river, which ultimately drains into a large water body such as a lake or a sea or an ocean. The various topics which we will cover in this chapter are the definition of the drainage systems in India, various drainage patterns, the two important drainage systems which are present in India, the Himalayan river system, the peninsular river system. The Himalayan river system comprises of the three important or the large rivers like the Indus river system, the Ganga river system, and the Brahmaputra river system. Although on the other hand, the peninsular rivers, it comprises of the various rivers like the river Narmada, river Tapi, river Godavari, river Mahanadi, river Krishna, and river Kaveri. And although there are many more rivers, but we will be studying the important rivers only. After that, we will switch over towards the lakes, the importance of lakes, as well as the three types of lakes we will study here: the freshwater lake, saltwater lake, as well as the artificial lakes. Although freshwater lake and the saltwater lakes are often the natural rivers, and we will study the other category, the man-made rivers, that is the artificial lakes. Then we will shift towards the next topic, role of rivers in the Indian economy, as well as the river pollution and the steps taken by the government for protection of the rivers. So let us start with the definition of drainage. Drainage describes the river system of an area. The area drained by a single river system is called a drainage basin or a river basin. When you do a closer observation of the map, you will notice that any higher ground, such as the mountain or an upland, separates two adjoining drainage basins. Such an upland is known as a watershed, or even though you can call as an water divide. India is blessed with hundreds of large and small rivers which drain the whole country. On the basis of origin, two broad drainage systems of India are generally recognized: the Himalayan river system as well as the peninsular river system. Now let us continue with features of the Himalayan river system. Himalayan river system originates from the lofty Himalayan ranges and so named as Himalayan rivers. These rivers have large basins and catchment areas. The Himalayan rivers form deep, eye-shaped valleys called the gorges. The Himalayan rivers are perennial in nature because the water flows throughout the year in these rivers because of the presence of ice-covered mountains. They are still in a youthful stage. The Himalayan rivers form meanders and often shift their courses also. The Himalayan rivers form big deltas at their mouth. For example, the Ganga-Brahmaputra delta, which is the largest delta of the world, and it is still growing delta. The Himalayan rivers move through the three different courses: the upper course, the middle course, and the lower course. In the upper course, the river is always in its youthful form as it moves through the mountains, so it has a steep slope in it. And moving through the hard rocks and very less rainfall most of the energy of the river is spent on down cutting actions. Due to this down cutting action, it results in a narrow valley with almost a vertical walls. Such narrow valleys are called as gorges. So in the upper course, most of the rivers, especially the rivers which come from the mountains, they form the gorges because the water flow is too much in them, and the space, the you can say the width of the river, that is very less, so it has a very much speed, due to which it start cutting the rocks and it forms the gorges. So most of the waterfalls are also present in the upper course itself. The second course is the middle course. In the middle course, as the river comes down to the plain area, ultimately its speeds become less. Due to less speed, it starts depositing its silt which it has brought from the mountainous area. So here it forms the various shapes like the alluvial fans, the flood plains, meanders, oxbow lakes, braided rivers, and etc. Then ultimately moving from the second course, that is the middle course, when it reaches its lower stage, that means when the river comes to meet the any large water body, that is the lower course of the river. When it starts ending up, there it forms delta, or it can merge with the larger water body in the form of distributary also and in the form of estuary also. So delta, what is delta? Delta is a triangular piece of land that develops at the mouth of the river by the deposition of sediments. And what is estuary? Estuary is a funnel shaped opening at the mouth of the river, and mostly the estuary provides the good site for harbors, whereas delta, which is made up of fertile soil, it is very good for cultivation. Now, the two important things, tributaries and distributaries. Tributaries are those streams which join the main river stream, and distributary is that stream which splits from the main river stream. Now, let us move to the features of peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers are also very important rivers, as these rivers originate in the peninsular plateau and are so named as peninsular rivers. These rivers have small basins and small catchment areas. The peninsular rivers flow in comparatively shallow valleys. Most of the peninsular rivers receive water only from the rainfall, not from the ice-covered mountains. And water flows in these rivers in rainy season only. So these rivers are seasonal, and thus they are also called as non-perennial rivers. And these rivers are often in a mature stage. The rivers of the peninsular plateau follow more or less straight course and do not form more meanders. The peninsular rivers form comparatively small deltas, and Narmada and Tapi, these are the two rivers which flow towards the west and they form estuary. Now we will move to the various drainage patterns of the river. Rivers have the four important drainage patterns depending upon its relief, geographical structure, and climatic conditions. The four drainage patterns are dendritic drainage pattern, trellis drainage pattern, rectangular drainage pattern, and radial drainage pattern. Let us describe these various patterns. Dendritic drainage pattern. Dendritic, or the tree-shaped pattern, is the most common and widespread pattern to be found on the Earth's surface. In this pattern, the tributaries come from all directions to meet the main river. Like the branches of a tree, the small streams meet larger streams, and the larger streams meet still the more larger streams. So in the end, they meet the main stream. Trellis pattern. In this pattern, the tributaries can be seen meeting the main stream at right angle, and the river joined by its tributaries approximately at the right angles. This develops a trellis pattern, and the trellis drainage pattern develops where the hard and soft rocks exist parallel to each other. The third category comes rectangular drainage system. The rectangular drainage system develops on a strong joint rocky terrain. The fourth category comes radial drainage pattern. Radial drainage pattern is also known as the centrifugal pattern, which is formed by the streams which diverge from a central higher point in all directions. In this type of drainage, the stream flows in different directions from a central peak or a dome-like structure. Now we will describe the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. Let us start with the Himalayan rivers. The Himalayan rivers consist of the Ganga river and the Brahmaputra river as well as the Indus river. The Himalayan rivers have a long course from their source to the sea. These rivers form both erosional as well as depositional activities. Before studying major rivers of the Himalayas, let us know about the names of some of the Himalayan rivers which we will study here. That is, the important Himalayan rivers we will study: the Indus, the Ganga and the Brahmaputra rivers. We can see in this map the movement of these three important rivers, which we will also study in the different explanation aspects also. Let me show you here the rising point of river Indus. River Indus rises from this point, which is referred as a Mansarovar. So here is the Mansarovar. From this point, the three important river rises. That is the river Indus, river Satluj, as well as the river Brahmaputra, which is named as Sangpo in Tibet. So let us see the movement course of river Indus. River Indus, which rises from Mansarovar, and it moves upward towards, and it enters India, and here through the Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, it moves towards upper part of India in Jammu and Kashmir, and after reaching at the top of its direction comes down in Pakistan, and it drains the most of the area of Pakistan, and here it falls in Bay of Bengal. The various tributaries of river Satluj, you can see here, that is the various tributaries of river Indus, you can see here, that is the river Satluj, which moves like this and merge in Indus. So it is the tributary of river Indus. The other river, which is a tributary of Indus, here we can see the five important rivers, although there are many smaller rivers. The next river we will see, that is the river Ravi, which rises from the mountains in Himachal Pradesh, and it moves towards the Pakistan and enters Pakistan and joins Indus. The next river you can see the Chenab, which also rises in Himachal Pradesh, Himalayan mountains, and that is the Chenab river, and it moves and merges in Indus here. The other is Jhelum, which rises in Ladakh and through Jammu and Kashmir. It moves towards, enters the Pakistan and joins river Indus. And here all these rivers, they form they all meet here in Pakistan and they all together drain in Arabian Sea. The other important Himalayan river is River Ganga, which rises from Gangotri in Uttarakhand and moves in this way through Uttar Pradesh. And here you can see the movement of river Ganga, and it reaches here at West Bengal, and after reaching here in West Bengal, it splits into two parts. One goes down in West Bengal and the other moves towards the Bangladesh. The other important Himalayan river is Brahmaputra, which is named as Sangpo in Tibet, which rises from here and moves towards the eastern direction, and after reaching here it moves down to India and enters India through Arunachal Pradesh, drains Arunachal Pradesh and most part of Assam, and after draining Assam it enters in Bangladesh, and there it meets with river Ganga. So we will study about these three rivers, important rivers, that is river Indus, river Ganga and river Brahmaputra in this chapter. Let us see the Indus river system. The Indus river system, its source is the Tibet near Lake Mansarovar. It enters India in the Ladakh district of Jammu and Kashmir, flowing west. Its main tributaries of the Indus River are like the Zaskar, the Nobra, the Shyok and the Hunza, which join it in the Kashmir region. The Satluj, the Beas, the Ravi, the Chenab and the Jhelum join together to enter the Indus near Mithankot in Pakistan. The Indus plain has a very gentle slope. Total length of this river is 2,900 km, and one-third of the Indus basin is located in India in the states of Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh and Punjab, and rest of the Indus river is in Pakistan. So again here you can see the movement of river Indus, which I have already informed you in the previous map, and this you can see the complete basin of river Indus. This is the complete basin which is drained by river Indus. The Ganga river basin. The Ganga, it has the two head streams of the river Ganga, that is the Bhagirathi is fed by the Gangotri glacier, and the other head stream is the Alaknanda, which joins Ganga at Devprayag in Uttarakhand. The Yamuna rises from the Yamunotri glacier in the Himalayas, joined at Allahabad. The Ghagra, the Gandak and the Kosi rivers, they join river Ganga in the Nepal Himalayas. The Chambal, the Betwa and the Son, they rise from semi-arid areas. The river bifurcates, that means it splits into two parts. It has the distributaries at Farakha in West Bengal. The Bhagirathi, which is also referred as the Hooghly, it is a distributary which flows southwards through the deltaic plains to the Bay of Bengal, and the main stream, it flows southwards into Bangladesh and is joined by the Brahmaputra river. So here you can watch the complete basin, Ganga basin of river Ganga. And this is the place Farakha, as I have informed you earlier also that in the previous map that the river rises from Gangotri, Bhagirathi here from Gangotri, and it has the two head streams, that is the Bhagirathi and Alaknanda. They both meet at Devprayag, and after meeting they both drain like this, and here at Allahabad, the from Yamunotri, where the river Yamuna rises, Yamuna moves through Delhi and it comes here and it meets at Allahabad with Ganga, and your own city which you can talk about, that is the Kanpur, where the river Ganga drains. It is here, and here after reaching Allahabad, it meets the river Yamuna meets river Ganga. Then combining both the rivers drains the complete part of Uttar Pradesh, and after reaching Patna here, that is the Bihar, then it moves towards the West Bengal, and in West Bengal, the place Farakha, there it splits into two parts. The one part which is named as Hooghly, it drains the West Bengal, it goes down and fall down where? In the Bay of Bengal. And the other part which is at the Farakha, which enters, that is the mainstream of river Ganga, that enters in the Bangladesh, which is named as Padma, and there in Bangladesh it merges with the Brahmaputra river. The Brahmaputra river system. The Brahmaputra rivers in the Tibet, they rises in the Tibet east of Mansarovar lake, which is very close to the source of the Indus and the Satluj. So the rising point of river Indus, Satluj and the Brahmaputra, you can say that is having a radial drainage pattern, because that is the raised part, and the three rivers, they move in the three different directions. The tributaries of the Brahmaputra are Dibang and the Lohit. River Brahmaputra flows eastwards parallel to the Himalayas. It takes a U-turn on reaching the Namcha Barwa and enters India in Arunachal Pradesh through a gorge. Here it is called the Dihang, and it is joined by Dibang River, the Lohit River and many other small tributaries. In Tibet, the river carries a very small volume of water and less silt, as it is a cold area and a dry area. As it enters India, it passes through a region of very high rainfall, and the river carries a large volume of water and considerable amount of silt. So here you can see the movement of river Brahmaputra in Tibet, and here that is a Mansarovar, and we have seen the rising point of river Indus also. Indus moves towards the west side, river Satluj also moves towards the west side, and river Brahmaputra, it moves towards the eastern side, and here it is named as Sangpo. And after reaching at the end part of India, it enters India through Arunachal Pradesh and drains maximum part of Assam, and here it enters the Bangladesh. After entering Bangladesh, the name of Brahmaputra changes and it is named as Jamuna, and it meets with river Ganga, which is coming from this side, and here it meets with river Ganga, and both the rivers drain in Bay of Bengal, and it forms the world's biggest delta of the world here, that is named as a Sundarban Delta. When river Brahmaputra enters in Assam, every year when it enters in Assam from here, as it rises from here Mansarovar, you can see, and moving from this side, it enters Arunachal Pradesh, and after entering Arunachal Pradesh, as it receives the most of the water in it, ultimately the water level of this river rises, and which creates a devastating floods in Assam and Bangladesh, due to which the Majuli, that is the river Rhine island, which is formed. Now, what is river Rhine island? The island which is formed in between the river. So every year during the rainy season, the river overflows its banks, causing the widespread devastating due to the flood. And the Majuli is the world's largest river Rhine island, which is formed by the river Brahmaputra.